Okay. Hi, my name's Annie Sanderson, for those you didn't know. Um, okay, so many people today answer their phones. I mean, you kind of have to in order to communicate in these days. You better pick up if your parents are calling, since they probably don't know where you are, or even if they do, they still need to call you and they still need to talk to you. But there is a right way and a wrong way to answer the phone. Today I'll be focusing on the right way. There are three elements to the statement that you should relay once you accept a call. The first is your greeting. Second, the introduction. Third, the how may I help you. A strong and professional impression, or even just a kind impression, will definitely be a result. So my family, as many of you know, seems pretty formal, or I guess you could say on the whole. This leaks into every aspect of our lives, yes, even into the way we answer our phones. Each member of our family kind of has a different way that they answer the phone, but they still do it. So for example, hello, this is the Andersons residence. How may I help you? This is Annie Sanderson speaking. That would be my response. You saw there I said hello. That was my greeting. I introduced myself and where I was. This is Annie Sanderson, and this is the Andersons residence. That's another piece you can put in there if you want, is where you are, which I don't always recommend. But and then third, I said, how may I help you? It's kind of your conversation starter. So now that you have heard how I do it, I'm going to teach you each of the steps. So first, your greeting. This is important as an opener. Hello is universally seen as a kind, opening, friendly way to start a conversation, or when you're meeting somebody, it's just the way you do it. And other variations include like, hey, etc. Warm and kind greeting, you'd be a little bit like, hey, it sounds mean, it sounds aggressive, it just sounds like aggravated. And then another one, or what do you want? Like, you just sound I sound sarcastic. I sound like I don't care. And to open a conversation like that, that's not how you would make a good impression. So second, you have your introduction. You need to know who you are in order to let other people know who you are, so that's kind of important. And then once you get past that, you want to let people know right away who you are. This is usually the stage at which people find out if they have the wrong number, because if they weren't looking for Annie Sanderson, then chances are they'll either hang up or be like, oh, sorry, is this other person there? And if it's not an Anderson, probably don't know who they are. And third, you have your, and this is kind of optional unless you're in a business setting, in which case it's probably definitely not optional. You kind of need to open up your conversation, open up your telephone call, so that you can start the conversation with the caller. So if you're saying, how may I help, you're asking, really, in what way can I assist you? Like, what can I do for you? And usually companies will definitely have their employees answer phones with this question. So Apple does this. You could even call restaurants and they'll say the same thing. Grocery stores, anywhere you call that's a business setting, commercial type setting, they'll most likely have this in their greeting. And they'll also introduce themselves, and they'll also say hello, or they'll just start talking. Sometimes they'll even skip the hello, and it doesn't always come out as super kind. In fact, sometimes it comes out as super annoyed. So the reason it's optional is because if you're talking to friends, or if you know who's calling, you can kind of change it around so it's not so, how may I help you? It can be more of like, hey, haven't talked to you in a long time, or hey, how have you been? Like, you know what I mean? So anyways, now that you know the 3 steps, I'm going to tell you a few uses for strong answering of your phone. One, it helps you make a good impression. I've mentioned this a few times. Especially if it's someone you don't know, you want to have a good impression. People will like you. People will want to, for instance, hire you if you're having a phone interview, or they'll want to accept you to a college. I'm sure many of you have had phone interviews recently. Aside from that, number 2, it can help you make friends because we all know I don't have those. 3, it helps you be professional. So if you do get a job and you have a job answering the phone, or you do have to answer the phone even if it's not really your job, you still want to be greeting, you still want to have your name, and you still want to ask how that you can help them. Even if it's not your job, you still want to be kind and open to people. It creates a friendly setting in which even if they have the wrong number, you can say, hey, that's all right, and they can go on with their day and not be mad, angered by your tone. So I did have a small clip that I was going to show that demonstrated how not to answer the phone in a business setting. And basically the woman had food in her mouth, she was slumped over her desk, she was kind of talking on the phone with like grunts and not really she obviously had no care for the person on the phone. And it was pretty terrible overall. She didn't seem to care at all. So, I hope you've seen a few of the importances of answering your phone, how to do so in a professional or just a generally kind manner. If you still don't believe me, see how many phone interviews you snag with, "Yeah, what?"